Not yet.
What?
I have to allow a certain amount of seconds.
There's a lot of noise coming from the kitchen.
Sade is baking a cake.
What kind of cake?
Oh, y'all got interested just then.
Oh, yeah, because it's cake, obviously.
German chocolate. Because it comes from the Germans, right?
No, it's by a guy named German.
Guys, we literally discussed this like
Hey,
2
let's make
years
this
ago.
a silent
We don't have to
podcast.
discuss
This is the
again.
Billie Eilish episode.
No, stop.
Oh, yeah.
You know what my favorite cake song is? She's got a short skirt and a long jacket.
Go.
Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast.
Thank you.
We thank you for all listening.
I do feel welcome.
We feel
in
like
my
many
own home.
people listen to us because they like us, not just what we bring to the podcasting realm of board game reviewers, because we're not reviewers, but rather
Discussioners, talkabouters, talk-arounders,
our deep interest in each other and our friendship.
our deep friendship.
And our comedic conversation.
No, we don't have comedians.
Enrique, you can't say... that's like saying I'm humble.
I am humble.
Because as soon as you say that, that means you're not.
You could say you're funny.
If you have to declare it, is it true?
Yes, it can be.
How?
Do you think? Well, so do you think if Brad Pitt looks in the mirror and says, "Oh, I'm so beautiful," it's no longer true? No, that man is handsome.
Well,
Yeah. Can't come back from that, can you?
case in point.
Case in point. Man,
Muhammad Ali, was he the greatest?
he's like, how old is Brad Pitt? Look up how old Brad Pitt
He's like
is.
53 or 55.
His jaws are chiseled.
Jowls.
No, he doesn't have jowls. He has jaws.
Jaws.
He's like Jaws Part
Jaws Barkley.
2. Just Charles running around biting people.
He has jowls.
Oh, Charles, the mailman.
No, that's stock. That's Carl Malone.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yes.
oh, I feel so sorry.
Why I remember that, I don't know.
The early
because
early
90s basketball.
My
that was
early
me.
90s basketball reference just went right over everybody's head.
I was all about it.
Mm.
It didn't go
Did
over
you say
everybody.
that Brad Pitt was 56?
I said yes.
Okay, yeah, he was 56.
Oh, yeah, you don't ever guess like me. You don't
I
ever.
like it when people ask you, "Did you say this?" And then I could just say, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you
yeah.
did say he was 56.
I was spot on. Did I say that? I thought I
Yes.
said 53 or
No,
55.
he's 56.
Route 56.
Well, what
Taken
kind
by Brad
of,
Pitt
is she making a cake?
for tomorrow.
Oh, your family reunions tomorrow.
My wife's family is having a reunion.
Why do you have reunions with families?
Because honestly, I'm going to tell you, this is what I think is happening. All of my wife's uncles and her father are very old.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think maybe they want to get together one last time.
So what? That's it?
Is that dark?
Yes, that's very dark.
No, it's not.
I mean, but it can be truthful
Well-
because I have a family member coming down from Connecticut down to Texas. That's a long way. It doesn't happen very often. In fact, since I've been married for 20 years, 21 years, we've had reunions of sorts, but we never have official reunions where everybody gets together. But this is one of the bigger reunions, where all the families of Gina's dad and his side of the family and all their kids and grandkids and
Yeah. It's big.
in-laws of those kids is getting together. So it's kind of a big deal because Gina's father's is in his he's 80, he's mid 80s.
Mm.
His brother is late 70s and he's very sick. They have another brother. They're all in their 70s and or 80s.
Wow.
Oh, and Gina's dad is the second. One of her uncles is 80 in the late 80s.
Wow. I'm trying my best to be interested by this. I'm
Sorry.
sorry I brought it up.
Sorry, what?
I'm so sorry. I can't feign. You know that I can't. You know I don't do small talk. You know I can't feign
You
interest.
asked the question
I
and I'm answering.
I was-
you said, why do they have reunions? And I'm saying, I think because they're very old and we might not see them again. Or
But-
Well, you took it to such a dark place.
certain members of the
You
family.
took something that was so boring and then you made it.
But why
I hope
did
I
you-
can see you again, Uncle Bobby. Well, I'm very old. You may not see me again. Bobby, that's my father-in-law. He doesn't listen to podcasts.
He's 86. He's sitting at the house. Well, honey, I guess we could see what the boys have to say about Splendor. He turned us on and be like, what? Oh, no. Okay, well, I don't know where to go from here. Do you have a quick to another topic?
Gemini Man, I watched it. Will Smith.
Gemini? Oh, I thought you said Gemini.
No.
Is it like Jack and Jill?
This is my friend Jim. So I want to just talk about Gemini.
Gemini. That would make a great parody. Gemini, just two guys that look alike going around.
I'm Jim.
What was Gemini Man about? Besides Will Smith's faltering career. So far, he's played himself and himself getting 2 paychecks, having his face digitally analyzed to be made look younger, and a pigeon.
I think he needs 2 paid checks. Get it? 2 pay checks.
I'm
That
sorry.
was bad. He's got a good head of hair.
Tell me about Gemini Man.
So he's an aging assassin
Oh.
working for the DIA. You know, they always have like these acronyms that don't mean anything for
Well,
the
drug
future.
enforcement. Something.
Sure, you spell enforcement with an I?
What was it? DIA?
DIA.
Oh, the DIA.
He was basically an assassin for the CIA.
But there's the DIA.
So whatever is in the future, obviously, because there's a clone of him where they did that whole face de-aging process.
Yeah.
I don't care how far along they've came, and they've come a long way. It looks weird. The eyes always look weird. And Will Smith, I love Will Smith. I loved Will Smith in the 90s. But stick to being funny and charismatic. Because every time he does the dramatic and crying, it just doesn't
go
work
well
for
for
me.
him.
It just doesn't. Because he kind of always does the same cry face.
Well, you got to have that cry face.
It's the same one.
But in general, how was it? The movie.
It was like perfectly mediocre.
Wow.
It was not fun. It was not exciting. Like, it starts off, he shoots a guy on a bullet train going 200 miles an hour just to show how awesome he is at his job. Then they like come
Was
attacking
he
him.
on the bullet train or the guy on the bullet train?
No, he shot a guy on a bullet train.
So let me ask you this. If you're on a train traveling 950 feet per second and you fire a gun and the bullet travels out of the barrel 550 feet per second.
550 people, so like almost half the distance, you would shoot 2 trains in front of it.
No. The train is traveling as fast as a bullet.
Oh.
And you shot a gun while
When
standing
Superman
on
shows
that
up
train.
and takes them both.
What do you think would happen? There's actually an answer for this.
I'm sure there are, and snipers would need to know.
No, I'm saying if you're standing on a train.
Wait. If I'm standing on the train?
You're on the train.
I'm on the train I'm shooting at?
No, you are on a train.
You shoot the bullet and it just falls out of the gun.
Yes, you're on the train. The train is traveling the speed of a bullet, and you fire a gun. What happens to the bullet?
It wouldn't travel.
You time travel back to 1955.
If it go 88 miles an hour, is that what you're saying?
No, it wouldn't travel.
You think the bullet would just stay in the gun?
It would project forth 2 times the speed.
No.
I'm going to let y'all do some research on this. It's
I'm
very
never
interesting.
going to do that. Don't
Quantum
care.
physics.
Sounds like drain physics.
Go ahead.
Is that what they call it? A bullet train?
Maybe. Elon Musk is going to build one from one
Do
side.
you know the answer?
Yes, I do.
Well, then just tell us, because I don't care.
I'm already looking it up.
Enrique is invested.
You had to
That's like
regale
saying,
me of your
okay,
family
so
where you did
You
slash
asked.
wake.
I never asked about the speed of trains
Okay,
versus
go
the
ahead.
speed
I'm
of bullet.
sorry. I'm sorry. Tell me more.
Superman can fly the speed of a bullet.
No, he can't.
He can too.
I don't like
He actually
Superman.
goes faster than the speed
I
of
don't
a
like
bullet.
Superman.
He nears light speed.
I don't like Superman.
How can he run around the planet in order to reverse time?
I don't know. I don't like him. I've never been a pro Superman.
It's always been Batman. Everyone knows it.
Batman's so cliche. Oh, everybody loves
Whatever.
Batman.
Hey, man.
Everybody loves Batman. Oh, when the Dark Knight trilogy came out, oh yeah, everybody's a Batman fan all of a sudden.
Okay, your next banter topic, please.
I hate it when you say your next banter topic.
Well,
why is it on me? I've been doing banter now. I've provided this.
Because technically,
Look at me. I got 2 notebooks open in front of me.
See your notebooks.
Because here's the thing. Technically, you're the one who made the banter topic.
Yeah,
so in turn,
and
it's
people
your
love it.
Yes, I know. This is your
People
section.
love it.
So in turn,
So on
he
Sesame
is
Street,
correct.
who is Sid?
Sid who?
Sid?
Oh.
Wasn't it the little girl Muppet? Nope, I have no clue.
The Cookie Monster's name is Sid.
Look, you're kidding me.
Nope.
Sid Cookie Monster.
I don't know what
His name
I
is
don't know
Cookie?
if it's his Christian name.
What's Big Big Bird?
Fred.
No, it's not. What's Big Bird's name?
Bertram.
I don't. That probably sounds right.
I don't know.
I don't like the fact that Big Bird implies that that name would imply that there's a bigger bird. He's not the biggest bird. He's just
I want to see biggest
I
bird.
want to see the biggest bird.
One big yellow bird.
Mm.
Did you know prairie dogs say hello with a kiss?
Mm.
That's how I greeted you. Am I a prairie dog?
What?
When you came in today, I kissed you on the
You
cheek.
did not.
A kiss of betrayal.
You were Judas.
Oh,
Brian and Frankie. You know Brian and Frankie. They're listeners of the show. I think they're
Yes,
fans.
Brian Aldrich and Frankie of the North.
They started their own.
Frankie of the North.
They started their own podcast, which I don't want to talk about because we don't need any more competition. But it's called Super Bored Sunday, and the
Super Bored
but the
Sunday.
board is like bored.
I'm so bored.
Anyways,
No, wait. How do you spell bored for real?
BOARD.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Super Bored.
So if things
Sunday.
don't go well, people could say, just warning y'all, on
Oh.
your review ratings on Apple Podcasts, are going to say, yeah, I was super bored.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you
You got to be
you
careful
gotta
with
be
how you name
careful.
stuff.
You gotta be careful with it. We got burned ourselves.
once this is over, I have the answer.
You have what's up?
Okay, go.
What, the podcast?
No,
Why
the
no,
bullet, the bullet train.
Oh, tell me about the bullet train
It would travel at the same speed.
from our resident physicist.
Travel is the same speed as what?
If you were on the train,
Would it still shoot the guy?
Yes, because it's traveling at the same.
So you're
speed. It's not
projecting it. You're
gaining
propelling
any-
it times 2.
No, it's at the same speed. It is the default speed of a gun of the bullet. It's not going faster because you are on a bullet train, a car, whatever. It's still traveling at the same speed. I don't know why.
So would it reach the guy?
Yes.
Yes.
It has to do with relativity.
Because
Right, because it's on the train too.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
That's what I said.
Yes,
It
exactly
propels
what you
it
said.
times 2. Thank you.
You said good. It's not times 2 though, but it's okay.
Whatever, close enough.
Close enough.
So it's like if you're on a train traveling the speed of light and you walk towards the front, you're not going faster than the speed of light because it's relative.
Right.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
okay,
How many senses do you have?
Census?
like
I thought you said census.
How many census?
5.
No, there's
How
more
many
than
people live in this home?
There's like 22.
Oh, I don't know.
23?
I did the census one time when I was out of work.
Wait,
Did
census.
you? Oh, wait.
And people are paranoid.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like they do not like to answer questions about who lives here and how many and why and all the questions of the census.
So the local newspaper where I'm from in Oklahoma just had this article. So we know for a fact that around 5,000 to 6,000 people live in this town. That's the county seat.
Roundabouts. That's our census.
Roundabout.
We got round about 5,000 people.
It is in the fifth or sixth largest county in Oklahoma. So 2010 they did the census. Literally nobody answered the census. Like there was it's like they're saying like there's like 10,000 people in the entire county. Like there was probably like 50,000 people off the grid in this county. And so because of that, it gets no funding because that's what the census does. And so now they're begging people, please answer the census.
They're more like, census nobody here.
yeah, like they think they're gonna get taxed or something if they let everybody know.
There's like big paranoia over like big government.
Yes.
Like I would knock on doors and they would come outside and I would say, I'm with the Federal Bureau of Census or whatever it was called. The FBC. Came in with my black hat and black jacket. I said, you mind if I ask you a few questions? I prefer you didn't.
Was there a slightly younger, thinner version of yourself, also clone, going around working
Maybe
for the
so.
FBC?
Maybe so.
I'm the best census taker. What's his name? Jim.
I would never say I'm the best.
Gemini Man. Go ahead. See, this sounds better than Will Smith's show already.
How many live here? And I would ask them, how many live here? I'd rather not say.
Well, I could tell by the shoes by the door at least 3.
It's weird how, like, out in the country, they don't like to answer questions.
No.
And it's also sad. Like, some of the houses, I'd be like, nah, nobody lives here. This place is overgrown and abandoned.
Lots
And
of
then
people.
all you see is like a person like coming through the front door.
Yes, I drive up and somebody walks outside. What are you doing here?
They're wanting
Oh, hello, sir. I'm with the FBC. Jim and I need to ask you a question. My first question is, what's your salary income annually?
Oh, I'm surprised you survived.
It was very scary. I did not like doing it, but I did it because for the area we live in, which is very almost poverty level, a lot of people, it would pay pretty good.
$12 an hour is what they're advertising in our little town.
2020, it's every 10 years, so it will be this year.
Yeah.
I think you get like $12 to $14 an hour.
All right.
Enrique,
You could be the census
sign
taker.
up. Go knocking on doors.
Find out
You
where
would
people
knock
live
at your door.
Don't do
No, I
that.
don't
You'll have
walk
to
around
shave your
talking to
mustache.
random
So you're really going
You
to
would
shave.
have to shave your mustache.
Nope. It's not happening.
Anyways, Brian and them have their own podcast now. It's nice. Just shout out to
We
them.
wish you well, sir.
Yes. We
If
wish you
you-
well. It's hard.
For
Inspired
people that
by
have
me.
heard, actually, I don't know that we've talked a whole lot about Brian, but he is a regular. He on especially Instagram.
Yes, he's an Instagrammer.
That's why I say it's so hard to keep track of the people that we talk to because it's like Instagram, there's people, email, there's people, Facebook, there's people, Twitter, there's people.
Me and Scott Huffaker, we communicate
You
through
talk like
carrier
on,
pigeon.
okay.
Go ahead. Hey,
What do you say?
we don't say anything. You write it down, you put it on the bird, you let it go. 6 to 8 weeks later, you have your response.
You say, how far is it to your house? Well, 10 miles as the crow flies.
There you go. As the pigeon flies.
As the pigeon flies. A blue whale's heart
It's big. It's chambers like
Is
a man
this-
can stand in
is
it.
the size of a VW Beetle.
Right.
Ooh. Interesting.
You could swim through its arteries
What would you want to, though?
to warm its cockles.
No.
No.
You go through there just urinating,
Stop.
warming up its cockles.
No.
What do you
And the
have
whale
to
would say, oh, you warmed the
Why you
cockles of
allow-
my
why you
heart.
have to have
him to
everything
say-
come back? That's your best blue whale? Urination. Why does everything have to be bathroom humor with you? Which reminds me, hard merge about our game that we're about to talk about. Pret-a-Porter.
So if there was a country full of people that just peed all the time, it'd be urination.
Keeping it together. Keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together.
You know you can't.
I'm keeping it together. No, that was not funny. That was not. You X that out of
You
your
gotta
book.
be kidding me.
No, no. Look, I can give you so many of these. I can't give you that one.
You have to.
Enrique.
Enrique's over there.
You
Just
liked it?
bathroom humor. He's got this. You just. Enrique just falls apart anytime. You're just Xing jokes out of your book.
Urination.
Urination. That's a good one.
That's good. Enrique laughed heartily. It warmed the cockles of his heart.
Write that down in your book.
This made me sad.
Tell me.
One last note before you go on to whatever we're going to talk about. Sloths
Yes.
can mistakenly grab their own arms instead of branches, leading to fatal falls.
I'm not saying I'm anti-sloth. I'm just saying that that's somewhat humorous to see. Just think of this animal just slowly grabbing it, and all of a
And
sudden,
you're like, no. One of the 7 deadly sins.
but really, sloths. I mean, this area of the country back in the late Jurassic, was occupied by giant sloths. Like,
Enrique.
no, I'm not talking about millennials. I'm talking about.
No, I'm Gen Z, man.
I'm talking about like the actual prehistoric giant sloths. Slosh and slushies. Slosh and slushies. Yes. Can we move on to talk about something board game related?
Let me see. What else have I got in my stuff?
I'll just save it. Just save it.
Fumbling?
The
No, you
fumbling.
can't waste it all.
Oh, wait. They're making a Home Alone reboot.
I'm ready for it.
no.
I am ready for it.
Really?
Yes.
Did you like Home Alone?
I liked the first one. I liked
Like
the second one.
Joe
I did
Pesci?
not watch 3 or 4.
I didn't-
3 was.
There's a
it was
fourth?
Yeah,
There was several of them.
I think
Under.
there was a 4th.
I've
It's
already-
like vaguely
I already
remember.
pitched you my idea. Did we do that on the air? Where I
Was
pi-
Mac cooking in them
yes. No, he was in 1 and 2. Did I pitch you my idea?
for Home Alone?
Yeah.
You may have.
They have like Macaulay Culkin come back as a robber. Him and Joe Pesci buddied up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then they like try to break into somebody's house. That
Well,
type
this
thing.
has Archie Yates,
Don't know him.
Ellie Kemper,
Don't know him.
Rob Delaney.
I know Rob Delaney.
I've heard the names.
No.
Oh, Ellie Kemper was from The Office. She took over Pam's job.
Oh, okay.
This is Pam. She was like the one that took over after
She
her.
was the one that was with Andy,
And she's also like in a Netflix show.
the Unbreakable Amy Schmidt or something
Yes.
like that. Oh yeah. I've never watched it. I just
Kimmy Schmidt.
Kimmy Schmidt.
It's
Yes.
weird.
Never watched it.
I watched a couple episodes. It's pretty funny.
Pret-a-Porter. Pret-a-Porter is
Oh.
by Portal Games,
Okay, let me work that on my list.
as well as designed by Ignacy Chevicek. This is its 3rd edition. And of course, in wrapping up our games, our best games of 2019, we felt...
Is it a 2019?
well, I'm going to call it because it was made, actually, I think, 2011.
It's a reprint, right?
It's a reprint. But since I haven't played it until now, I'm going to segue it in there, okay? How about that?
Gourd head.
Pret-a-Porter, which I believe means like ready to wear, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, very good. I was going to say that in case you didn't.
Oh, thank you.
I had looked it up because I didn't know what it meant.
Is a business
But
management
John
game.
from John Get Game says Pret-a-Porter.
He says what?
Pret-a-Porter.
Okay, well, thank you, John.
Have you ever had pate?
Pate.
Pate.
That's goose liver.
I used to love the Oscar Mayer goose liver.
Did they make goose liver?
Yeah, it came in that plastic tube about the size of like that right
I don't
there.
think that was like
And
cheese
you would
whiz.
cut it open and you would dig out that potted whatever like
Goose liver?
Like, that's what
Are
it
you
said.
sure?
It was called pate.
I think your mom was feeding you cat food. you shouldn't know any difference. What's this, honey?
talk about my mom?
Fancy feast. She play a little bow and go ding ding. Gaby would come running. Oh, here's your Ritz crackers. Eat your pate. She's in there laughing at you. Oh.
My kitty cat.
Pret-a-Porter is a business management game where you are collecting these cards, which represents your designs. You're each these fashion design companies. And so you're hiring workers that will help you out. You're renting out buildings that give you extra powers. You're getting these designs, and then
This is the 3rd edition.
yeah. Then
Because
they're
I'm trying to look it up on Board Game Geek and I can't really find the 3rd edition.
this is the 3rd edition. And you're buying the materials used to make these designs, and so your money's very tight. It's kind of a worker placement type game.
There's a Fashion Week, and that's in 2019.
And then each round you have to pay your workers, you have to your expenses run up, so forth and so on. 2 rounds go by, and then you have a fashion show where you have to present your designs. They're judged by their trends, their quality, your PR, your company's PR, and you're scored. Your company gets scored. You sell your designs, you make money, you get victory points based on your prestige. There are a lot of neat little facets in this game that I liked, but let me get to the part that I don't like. Ignacy Chevicek designed one of my favorite games, Robinson Crusoe.
Boo.
Robinson Crusoe was a beast to learn. And one of the things that's very difficult about it is that there's all these little rules that tend to get tacked on. And it's
with no beauty.
And it's cruel. Pret-a-Porter, it doesn't feel...
It doesn't have that same feel as Robinson.
Well, obviously not. I mean, it's fashion and being trapped on an island. But I mean, it's... But thank you for listening. It's okay. I get what you mean. But it doesn't...
It's neither cooperative.
It doesn't feel like it's brutal.
Well,
No, there's like, one time in the game that we played, I felt cut off from where I wanted to go.
Right. It feels more... It's not that the rules are convoluted or anything. It just seems like everything with the Ignacy Chevicek game, it seems like he adds an extra step in with everything.
Yeah.
And so let me just go down this.
It's like, well, what does this mean? You look it up and you can't find it.
Yeah, the rule book's terrible. So the player board, the
Par
board,
for the course for Portal games.
yes, it is. The main board.
Why is that? Why hasn't he fixed that since Robin freaking Crusoe? That's an old game.
Well, here's to back
with
up.
an atrocious rule book.
Here, to back it up a little bit.
Atrocious.
51st.
Back it on up.
50
Back that thing up.
51st States had one of the best rule books I've ever read.
Who made it? Portal
and Isaac.
Well, what did he do right on that
I
one?
have no clue. It was humorous. It was well spelled out. It's far and away one of the best rule books ever read. Anyways, in Pret-a-Porter, some of the things that are kind of hinky about this is that the main player board, after you put your workers out there, which you only have 3, you go down from top to bottom and you activate these tracks, and you're just basically getting cards, contracts, workers, and buildings, and so forth. Well, as you're buying these buildings or workers and you're putting them out next to your player board, they have these little powers that say, okay, when this board activates, if you have a worker there, you can take that action. Or even if you don't have a worker there, you can take that action. And so every time a board part of the main board activates, you have to look around at everybody at the board and go, do you have this card? Or they yell out, hey,
it's hard to keep up.
It's hard to keep up. Many times we would keep going, and it didn't really affect the game, but it was something that was just kind of irritating.
Well, like me, every time we did the upkeep, I kept forgetting the cards I had that gave me money.
Yes.
It's like these bonuses. And all I got to do is look down my board and say, oh, yeah, I need to do that. But I'm used to games where you purchase the card, you do the action. But when cards have ongoing actions, it's hard to remember them. But that's on me, bro.
And of course, this game has a loan aspect where you take a loan, you get a certain amount of money, you pay it back. The showing of your... after every 3 rounds, there's this fashion show where you score your cards, and the game all of a sudden shuts down. It's like literally the 2 action rounds before it are blazing fast. And then all of a sudden you get to this scoring round, and there's 4 scoring rounds in the game. And you literally come to a grinding halt and have to score these 4 areas. Like, how many different designs did you have? Who had the most trend? Who had the most quality? Who had the most PR? And you have to go down, and depending on how many players...
Trend, quality, PR, and how many of your collection.
Yeah.
Who had the biggest collection.
And so when you score these...
of a particular type.
When you score these, the score changes depending on how many players you have. If there's 3 players, 2 players, 4 players, it each scores differently. And so you have to look at this reference card and then score each one of those things, and it shuts the game down. It's not intuitive. The game is trucking along. It feels really smooth, and then they throw the brakes on. It is the feeling I got.
Yeah.
I also didn't like that the game, the cards in it, some of the cards seem overpowered to me. For instance, I hate these type of cards. I find them in games all the time. It's a card that allows you to either use money or other resources, chip them in for victory points. And so basically, there's these cards. Me and Gaby bought one. I bought one. And it says during the upkeep phase, you can spend X amount of money to buy X amount of victory points. Of course, we did that. We started throwing money into victory points. What did that do? Well, it caused us to lap the board several times. Yeah. Enrique didn't get that card. That card didn't come out again. The only 2 cards that popped out, we got them. Enrique didn't have them. And so because of that, Enrique stayed way behind. The point disparity in this game was massive.
It was very bad.
It was not very tight. And so now I'm hating on the game, of course. And it was...
Well, and another thing is, after our first show, I never was in want for money.
No.
Because I got all that money. Then I got these cards that gave me more than I needed to pay everybody. Just in the cards alone in the upkeep phase, they paid for themselves.
Right.
Then everything else was just bonus, racking it up. I just paid in those extra bonus points, got the victory points, and I was just trucking along the victory board.
This game seems very...
I would almost want to take those cards out.
I remember after we played it, telling Gaby, I'd like to take these certain cards out.
It's like $15 for 25 victory points.
And I mean...
So every round after that, which there's a bunch, I probably made at least 100 points just off of that.
Right. And so in a game like this, where it really boils down to who gets these certain cards and when they get them and when they start off with them, if you have one bad show, which Enrique did early on, he played catch up the whole game. I had a bad show, I think the second or third show.
I played mustard.
Yeah. got that. That
Colonel
was
mustard.
good. I relish your
Clue.
puns. There was yeah, you feel like you're just behind. The
I
rest
never
of the
got
game.
in a pickle once.
And there was no catch-up mechanic. And so,
Mayonnaise, a lot of mechanics in this game.
and the one thing that really, you just have to stop it. You just have to stop it. I'm soured on this. Okay, it's terrible. Your food puns are not worth it. Oh,
That was good. I don't care what you say.
I don't care what you say. But Pret-a-Porter I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Our scores were I was 291, Jerry was 202, Enrique was 90.
Boom.
Just boom. Now, granted, like literally second turn of the game, Enrique says, "We're gonna play this again. I've messed up. And we told Enrique, we just started, like, and it resets, and you can, but Enrique, you just didn't.
No.
You didn't change your mistakes.
I think that the type of people who would like this game, I think of two types. One, the business management type games, like we just played here recently, City of the Big Shoulders. When I was playing Pret-a-Porter, you're just running one business. You're not really investing. It's more of just managing this company.
It's like producing money,
Using
using that to get victory points,
Right.
And then you turn other stuff into.
It's obviously kind of engine building in a degree.
Because like you get all those buildings, so you have a main board. You can hire employees, and you start off where you can hire 3 employees. Well, you can't hire a 4th employee without creating a building.
Correct.
So along the right side of the board, you're supposed to put your buildings, which I had scads of buildings. I had scads of employees. While they cost me a bunch of money, they also gave me a bunch of money.
Yeah, they gave you a bunch of stuff.
And then at the end, they gave me a bunch of PR. They gave me a bunch of this, a bunch of that. I really liked that part of the game, the engine build.
I did too. The game to me is unique enough that I'm glad to have it in the collection.
I don't have another fashionista fashion.
Well, there is this
game.
This theme is unique.
Well, we need to get Rococo.
We'd like to play Rococo,
Dresses.
but this theme is unique. I'll certainly say that. Now, in terms of games that might be similar to this, now you've been playing London a lot.
Yes.
Now, hear me out. London is a card-based
I've been
game.
playing London. I've played London like 4 times in the last week.
An Osprey game by Martin Wallace. Of course, I love it. London is very much about managing your tableau, building an engine, and buying these. You're paying for your cards with cards in your hand, and knowing when to fire off and run this engine. So it is more engine building than it is resource management. The only resources that you're really managing are your cards that you want to have just the right ones, but also poverty. You want poverty to be very low in your game.
Poverty shallow. London is more brutal to me.
Is it? I think it is too.
Like Pret-a-Porter, that's what I'm saying. Pret-a-Porter is just like this wide open, like you can just go in there and fire off all your stuff and it's wide open and I'm collecting money and paying money and getting this. But it comes to a grinding halt, like you said, when you do those scoring stuff.
Yeah.
But London, Mike has dominated London.
Yeah.
He like gets it. London still breaks my brain.
London is a very difficult game. And so Pret-a-Porter to me has landed itself in the spot of uniqueness, that it is enough of a business game that I enjoyed it. It had that feel to it. I felt like I'm managing my company. It had enough of worker placement to where I felt like, okay, this is good. I feel a little bit of worker placement in this. I feel like I'm trying to have to plan out what I'm going to do. I had to make some wise financial decisions. It is a little loose. It's not as tight as it should be as a worker placement. It's not as tight as it should be as a money management game, and the scoring is not as tight. Mm-hmm. So the uniqueness, the flavor of Pret-a-Porter, it really was an enjoyable game. One of the other things that I did not like about it is, and you hit it on the head when we were playing it, it goes about a round too long. Yeah. It was, what does it say on the box? Is it a 2-hour game?
It says 90 to 2 hours.
It was a hair more than 2 hours with us with 3 players. But I think once we got it down, it may have moved along faster.
Now that we know what we're doing, we probably could get it down to.
But the thing is, what the grinding halt comes from
with less players.
From the scoring,
It's rough.
and you can't get around that.
And there's like 5 or 6 scoring phases.
There's like 4. They're like the 4
and then
different
at the
shows.
very end, you do like.
Yeah, it's not intuitive. It's not intuitive.
I would say I like this. I like this game for the same reason. It gives me the same feel that Gallerist did.
Really?
I don't know. It's just a unique theme. I don't know. To me, the whole time I was playing, I was like, "This makes me feel like Gallerist for some reason."
I will say this: I could see your point there. I did not like the Gallerist. If I had to compare the two here of the feel, I really like this more than the Gallerist. But everybody knows I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
There's only certain VTOL asserter games I like, and Gallerist was the one that I just really never. I think maybe if I played it more, maybe I would have got into it, but it just fell flat with me. I don't see Pret-a-Porter leaving our collection anytime soon. It's unique enough. It has a neat artwork to it. It has a unique feel to it. And I think that once we kind of understand more what we're doing, even though it is kind of a solitaire game, the worker placement is not as tight as I want it to be. I think it's going to be one of those games that we'll really enjoy. And so my recommendation...
We need to play it same before we forget how to play it.
We'll play it again. But my recommendations for the listeners would be, if you're into the business type games, if you know what we're talking about with London or City of the Big Shoulders, or even if you're of the Gallerist type, if you like kind of that VTOL Lacerda type of juggling different things, Pret-a-Porter is unique enough that it lands in those spots. It has an interesting feel to it. Just watch it. John Gets Games does a nice playthrough of it and explains a good portion of it. The rule book to me was a little bit frustrating. And
it was pretty rough.
But I can't slap a seal of approval on it as it being just the greatest thing ever. But it is in the collection. I'm
right now, as board game snobs, we haven't decided.
We haven't decided. Now,
we played it one time.
Yeah.
With blowout scoring, and we didn't really. I mean, the first 3 rounds, we were still figuring it out.
Yeah,
and the rules were atrocious.
Yeah. And so, yeah, of course.
Like, there's little things on there like, oh, when do I get this? When do I get that? The rules don't say.
Yeah. This is one of our year-end wrap-ups where we did not have a chance to really give this game a fair shake. And so I can bring out the things I don't like about it off the cuff. But yeah, we're going to have to play this intently over the next few weeks before we actually say whether we like it or not. But off the top
I don't like it.
Off the top of my head, it's
a double negative.
You can do a double negative.
It's not that I don't like it, but I don't know that I like it.
Double quarter pounder.
Sold.
It's off the top of my head, I feel pretty confident about it. But
I enjoyed it, and it's like I felt like I got it. Like I was just rocking along.
Yeah. And
even though I wasn't sure, it didn't give me that. But
like a hurricane.
It didn't give me that brain burn.
No, your brain was not burned.
I was just cruising along, enjoying what I was doing.
It was medium rare.
Okay. Another game that did not burn my brain.
Segue!
Coal Baron, the great card game. Or as I'd like to say, the not so great card game.
No, burn. Oh, no, actually, no, not burn. Sorry. I've ruined your joke. I didn't mean to.
I played this with me and Mike, a 2-player game.
You're cheating on me. Go ahead.
Well, you weren't around. It's been a long time. I need to play games, and you just didn't provide that for me.
I think it's only been a month.
Shut up.
How dare you?
How dare you?
You just keep licking your mustache with your tongue.
How dare you?
Look at him. He looks like a lizard. If lizards had mustaches that they lick, that would be Enrique.
My favorite lizard show was Rango.
V.
Rango was good.
What?
V.
Oh, V.
Oh,
the old V.
The old V.
Old V.
No, I can't
they sit there and
never
they
watched
peel
the
off their
old
skin.
V.
What, Vendetta? Like,
No, not V for Vendetta. No,
V for Vanilla?
V for Vanilla.
No,
He said V for Vendetta.
No, he said V for vanilla.
No,
He gets confused.
No.
That's like the worst Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
V for vanilla.
It will come
It's got
back.
a mouse in there.
Come back and get you.
What are you talking about, Enrique?
I thought you mean like movies.
That's what we were talking about. There was a TV series called V that were about aliens. We're not talking about V for Vendetta, the Natalie Portman / the guy who was in the Matrix.
That was the whole. Like,
what do they call that face?
That face? The Guy Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes, yeah.
Remember the 8th of November.
5th of November.
I always say the 8th of November because of that
Remember
big
the
and,
8th. 3 days later.
Oh, no. I remember that big and rich country
Everybody
song.
shows up 3 days late.
I just remember that big and rich country song.
What is it?
The 8th of November? You don't remember that? Oh,
No.
man. If you want to listen to it.
Is it a tearjerker?
It's one of those Vietnam tearjerker 8th of November songs that they sang. And yeah.
Okay, back to Colbert, the great, not so great card
How
game.
did we get to Vietnam off the Colbert?
I
Go
don't
ahead.
know. I played it with Mike. Granted, it was a 2-player game. And we were not fighting for spots.
You weren't.
So the card game it did nothing for me.
Well,
And
I
I
told
don't
ya.
like the fact that on the board game, like you have to make sure that your mine shafts are equal amount of carts.
shafts.
You're going down the shaft of my mind.
I thought about the detective. Remember Shaft? No, you know Shaft. No, stop it. You don't even know who I'm talking about. Shaft. Oh, never mind. Go on.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Shaft. I'm done with this. Go on.
You got debated on that one.
done.
You know you did.
Done.
You talking about the detective?
Yes. Like the Samuel L. Jackson remake. The
Watch
one
your mouth.
that bombed. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Shaft.
Okay.
Okay.
But do you know Shaft?
I know mine shafts.
Okay.
From
Mind your own
Colbert.
Shaft because I like the original Shaft. I didn't like the Samuel L. Jackson Shaft.
I've never seen the original
You
Shaft.
you didn't see the original Shaft?
No, that's
Well-
old.
Well, it's good.
I didn't see it.
All right.
All right, moving
Shaft
on.
from the past.
Colbert and the Great Card Game.
It sucks.
Don't like it at all.
All right. Another, speaking of games that wore out on us, Gaby here, since he's basically outed himself of constantly playing games without me, has been playing one Grand Austria Hotel.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
He then proceeds to call me up after playing it numerous times and declares, to my shock, that he is done with it.
What?
I'm
You're lying.
Heresy.
just not a fan.
Heresy. After buying the deluxe little pieces so that I can finally tell the difference.
They help. I've got the coffee, strudel, cake, and wine.
Gaby, this is what happens when you overuse a game.
Yes.
First of all, on Grand Austria, who the frack? Pardon my Galactican.
Go ahead.
Guard my Caprican. Who decided to make that score tracker stop at 75?
Well, because that's where it goes.
That just irritates the crap out of me.
Why?
Why?
Is that your...
When you lap that track, you're like, oh, 75. So 75. Oh, wait. So plus 20. Wait, what? It's a
once
pain.
you pass 75, you just put it back on the one. You just keep going. You just know.
No, it's stupid.
Go
That's
on.
a stupid score tracker.
Go on.
That's a stupid score
All right,
tracker.
go on.
The staff cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
what
too many
about
of them.
There's too many, and you have to draft them.
Yes.
Otherwise, somebody might get all the in-game points.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
you're stuck with, if I get a green table, I can do this.
I don't like the
yeah.
staff cards.
Now I realize the dice is the driving mechanism of the game,
The
Yes.
rolling mechanism.
other than picking a staff, a person to waitress.
Keep picking
Yeah.
your staff. They'll never heal.
Your point?
Go ahead.
I believe there's a staff infection in this game.
I know you were griping about the dice. You got some bad rolls.
We got some really bad rolls, and like
Were they Hawaiian?
none of them were what we needed, and it was just irritating.
Well, that's what happens when you're rolling dice.
I know exactly, and that's why. That's
So
why I
are
was
you
trying to
anti-dice?
I was trying to reason with myself. This game was driven by, but this is my point. Like this game,
He hates
is,
dice placement games.
Obviously.
Obviously.
this game is presented as a big euro. Like
is.
this is one of the big euros
It is a
yeah,
big
it is.
euro.
with dice, and they play such a prominent role. And like, if
Oh.
I need
Oh, no.
3 cakes,
Here it
coffee
comes.
cakes,
Here it comes.
or 3 coffees, I may not roll a
You
coffee.
just need one cake
Well, that
What if I don't roll a coffees and I don't roll any sixes?
with a short
You're just
skirt
gone.
and
You're
a
done.
long
but
jacket.
that brings in the randomness of actually
Exactly.
managing
It's just-
a hotel.
No.
Yes, faulty towers.
But
you,
like,
Manuel.
it's like it's a heavy euro, but yet it's not.
Oh, you have said things that have irritated our listeners just then. Your opinions
I
do
can
not
already
necessarily
hear the
represent
raging
those of
screams.
Jerry. Jerry does not. Yes,
I need coffee, and I can't get coffee because I didn't roll any coffee, and I didn't roll any
yeah,
sixes, which should
Because
negate
you didn't
the fact.
stock up on coffee. That's why.
sounds like
How can I stock up on coffee when a coffee cart has not yet come out there? Because wait, you
Don't-
got to wait for the table
Enrique.
to be flipped out there.
Enrique. Don't anger him. Don't anger him. Don't look him in the eye when he gets this way. Listen.
I think his eyes are turning red.
You had one bad game.
No,
You had one bad
I've
game.
had 3 bad games.
You had a few bad games. You need to walk it off.
No, I don't.
You need to walk it off.
You
You need to
don't
stop.
get me wrong.
You need to stop
I
right
will
there. You're about to say something stupid that you're going to regret.
regret. I will continue to play this game
Okay,
because my friends like it.
we do.
Yeah.
Mike and Crystal, and I guess you and Enrique do. But if I'm going to play a Euro game or a Simone Luciani game, I would never go to Grand Austria Hotel first right out of the bucket.
Well, get ready because we're
Not
about
when
to.
we have Marco Polo, Barrage. I would play Newton over this game because there's no
I don't think I've
No,
played it, so-
there's
No.
a Coimbra. Oh, give me Coimbra over
No,
Grand Austria
no,
Hotel.
you
Yes.
have- you
No,
have
because you can
Foolishness.
deal with all that.
Foolishness.
Best Simone Luciani game.
We've talked about this. Really think that they kind of hit the nail on the head with Marco Polo.
1 or 2.
Two's good. Two is good. Anyways, well, you get ready because when I get my Cabo learned, we're gonna have us just a fine time. And
Your Cabo?
yes, my Cabo, your Cabo, we're all a Cabos,
We're all a Cabo.
and we are going to learn that and play that on probably our next episode.
I doubt it.
Thank you everybody for being here. If you're listening to
Where
this,
are they?
well, because
Everybody's not here.
I'm not going to be here.
They're all listening.
Because by the time this is on the air, I'll
that's
probably
right.
be in New Mexico.
We're trying to record a
Why are you
couple
going to
ahead
New
because
Mexico?
Jerry is going skiing with the rich folks.
I'm not going skiing.
Are you a
with-
1%er?
I'm not a 1%er. I ain't even a 2%er.
Argyle sweaters.
This is the same Argyle sweater. I have one Argyle sweater. You harassed me about
Have you washed it?
No, you don't
Why
have
do
to
you
wash
only
a
have
sweater.
One Argyle sweater,
I see
though?
swirlies coming off with flies.
That's okay. I'm
Much
going
like,
to New Mexico to enjoy my
Pig Pen.
time skiing. By the time this is released, I will be back home though.
Say, old boy.
So
Zigzag.
I wanted to get this podcast in before I left. I will miss you all. If I'd pull a Sonny Bono and have a tragic skiing accident,
Oh, snap.
I
Too
want y'all to
soon.
consider. I want y'all to
R.I.P.
continue on
Rip torn.
without me.
Are you going to be? Do you want to be buried or burned?
Burned, obviously,
Okay.
on a Viking.
I got you,
ship.
babe.
Oh, like
Thank you,
excellent.
thank you.
Gaby, we're going to have to get a Viking ship, and you're going to have to learn
In
how to
Iceland.
shoot it.
Take me to Iceland.
I'll
Very
take-
well.
Take me to
I'll
Iceland.
ship you to Valdi and Crystal
All right,
Fruit.
Have them have me a Viking
They
funeral.
they can shoot at you with burning arrows.
No.
Yes.
You just find the boat.
We'll drink
I'll
our
start
Belch
practicing
or
shooting
a white
arrows.
ale. We'll be good. Yes.
We're like, oh, we keep missing. You just float off
Well, that's when you just put out.
until a big orca jumps up and crashes into your
it's
raft.
like
You just
a couple
sent-
of years later.
You
like
just put it out on the Facebook group. I'll be in Australia soon. When Troy and them see me, they're like,
From Iceland to Australia?
yeah, I can make it.
No,
Wow.
No, it's just going to be
I'll
like
be right, but my sweater will be intact. All right, everybody, follow us on Instagram. I gotta get out of here.
All right. Until next time,
This is Jerry.
this is Gaby.
This is an.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.